Hi, everyone. Today we're going to talk about perfectionism, the perfectionist, the person who does everything so perfectly, nothing will go wrong, the perfect plan with the perfect outcome, and all of the possible problems are perfectly taken care of before they even arise. I've got this under control. I know exactly what I'm doing. And even if something goes awry, I've got that figured out too. I am the perfectionist. Is that you? Does that speak to you? Or does that speak to somebody that you know? This is Holly Hall, and this is Ask Holly Hall, episode 2. Today I've got a question from Suzanne. Suzanne in Australia. And she is asking, why do I have so much anxiety? And why do I have so much guilt? I will talk to you about this first before I actually look at her chart and see what's going on energetically in her past and in her near future and how she's working through this. But when we are the perfectionists, and I'm a Virgo, and I have what's called a stellium in Virgo, which means I have 4 planets very close together in the sign of Virgo. So I know exactly what it's like to be a perfectionist and have a grand plan since I was a kid on how things would just turn out if I just had that plan all figured out. Okay? And so what happens is when the plan doesn't work out, and guess what? You are part of my plan, you are part of my plan, you are part of a plan, and a whole bunch of other people I haven't even met yet will be a part of that plan. I've got roles for all of you, and you're all going to play that part exactly how I have planned it. I am the director of this play. And so if you don't work out as planned and you have your own issues and it changed the plan, and you, who I haven't even met yet, okay, have anxiety around that, then what happens is when other people don't go along with my plan, okay, and that's life, right? Then what happens is I build up resentment. But see, I also have a plan that I'm going to serve you. I'm going to do what you love, what makes you happy, so that you can fit into that plan. What do you need to fit into my plan? What can I do? How can I serve you so that you can fit into that plan? Right? And when that doesn't happen, it builds up resentment. And then the art of being a perfectionist means that if you don't live up to that perfection, and that's the perfection that you've made up, that lie that you've told yourself, right? That what your role is to be a perfectionist. I will eat perfectly. I will work out constantly. I will not gain weight. Okay? I will be the perfect person at work and do everything that I'm told to do exactly to perfection, the way they want it. Okay? Then you feel guilty when you don't take on those responsibilities. So if somebody comes up to you and says, "Okay, you've hired me you've casted me in this role, and now I am your husband. Now I am your child. Now I am your boss or your coworker, and I'm asking you to do something for me." And what do I say? Well, this is the perfect plan. I'm the perfect person, so of course I have to say okay. And I have to do it with my own version of perfection. And if I say no, I feel guilty. If I say yes, and it takes up some of my time, or deep down I really don't want to do it, that builds up resentment. Okay? And so guilt and resentment, which we all know is completely useless, emotions, guide how we make our choices. We choose yes instead of no in the face of losing something within ourselves because, well, I don't want to feel guilty. Okay? We say we do the job that we know we probably can't undertake to perfection because we've said yes to a whole bunch of other jobs. But I have to do it because I will be riddled with guilt and I can't handle that. And so what happens is you make a silent agreement that people have these expectations that you will always do this. You make this agreement that you will always be the go-to person. And so it builds up more guilt, more resentment, more guilt, more resentment. I'm not good enough. I'm not perfect enough. I can't handle all of this, right? And that is the curse of the perfectionist. And as we know, perfection it's not a word. It shouldn't even be a word. In fact, in some languages, it doesn't exist as a word because there is no such thing as perfection. And what you think is perfect is not what's perfect for me. Okay? So I may straighten my hair and I may think, oh, this is perfect. I love this. This is perfectly perfect for me. And somebody else right next to me will go, oh, I hate my straight hair. And they curl it all up. And I go, ooh, that's perfect. I love my curly hair. Right? But that's not perfect for me. I got curly hair. I don't like it. I don't feel, well, sometimes. Some days I do. Some days it's perfect for me. Some days it's not. Right? So it's in the eye of the beholder. It's in the eye of the beholder. So now I've got Suzanne from Australia asking me this. I'm taking a look at her chart. She's got two planets, Virgo and Mars and Venus in Virgo. And she also has Saturn close to her Venus. Okay, Saturn is the one that makes us work hard. It's the drill sergeant. It's the hierarchy. It's the father figure, the authority, the one that says you can do it. Pull up your bootstraps. Work hard. If you don't work hard, you get nothing in this world. Right? That's the Saturn. That's the voice in her head. But she's going, but Venus loves. Venus is about love, and I love myself, and I love what I do, and it's and Virgo likes the details and likes the analytical side and wants to be one with Mother Earth and to ground herself and loves nutrition and nurturing. So what is it that she does? She is a cook. Okay, so there's the nutrition side. And what does she cook? Only healthy food, because that's what a perfect person would do. We eat healthy food that comes from organic sources. And that's exactly what she does. And let's add more perfection to it. It saves the environment. She does the 100-mile sort of, she only buys locally, and it's saving the environment, and she makes sure it's outsourced. And if there's anything that comes outside of Australia, such as olive oils, she makes sure it's sustainable. Even more of a perfectionist, right? Which is great. Who doesn't like that? Wish we all did that, right? Except what's happening now is Neptune is coming in. Neptune is all left brain, and it's right brain, and it's all about the make-believe side and the imaginary side, and the part where we can kind of check out and let things just flow naturally, like an artist, like a creator, right? And just be at ease with things and not think so hard, kind of just not be in that thinking mode. But Virgo's all about overthinking. So, and here she is, and she's a Capricorn, okay? So she needs to be in a self-employed kind of position, which is what she is. She runs the kitchen herself, and she's actually looking at starting up her own restaurant. And the thing is that now it's going, but do you really love what you're doing? Do you really love what you're doing? And you know what it is? She does, but she doesn't love who she's working for and who she's working with. And she actually doesn't love the area that she has to live in order to sustain this. So this is what's making her go, well, I want to have my own business. Okay, but there's fear. I'm not perfect enough. I'm not ready enough. See, that strong Virgo keeps pulling us back from making decisions and choices. Procrastination is what we do when we're afraid to move forward. And so she's not ready enough. I got to take another course. I got to take a business course now, and I got to take that course now. And guess what her husband does for a living? He's an accountant, and he's in marketing. So he could take over that side of it. Okay, he could take over that side of it, but that side of her that's a perfectionist and that is kind of a drill sergeant, wants to do it on her own, that she has to work out how are they going to communicate in order for him to take over that side. So that's what I'm coaching her on right now, is developing that communication and letting go of control. That's the Saturn part. I want to control everything, because if I don't, then it could go out of control. God forbid that I just let things flow naturally, and not guilty here of doing that. And so how can she let go of resentment, and how can she let go of guilt? Let go of being a perfectionist. How do you let go of being a perfectionist, Suzanne? And you're going through that lesson right now. It started in January 2019, and it's continuing until the late spring of 2020. Okay, and then there's another conjunction happening with the planet Saturn and your Virgo, which is a real positive one, in the fall of 2020, which is when I see your business taking off. That's when you're going to have enough of where you're at now. And there's guilt. I can't leave where I'm at right now. I've made my mark. They depend on me. I'm dependable. I'm reliable. That's the other Saturn conflict, right? What would they do without me? And that's another way of you talking yourself out of making a decision because you're afraid that you may not be good enough at it. And if I'm not going to be good enough at it, why should I even try? So then I won't disappoint myself and I won't disappoint others. Oh my God, I'm tired. Just aren't you tired just listening to that? It's hard. And we do that. And a lot of us have this need for perfectionists with all the self-help books out there and the gurus and people telling you 20 different ways, 100 different ways how to diet, 100 different ways how to eat, 100 different ways how to look young, a million different ways how to be rich, right? There's a perfect way and I'm going to keep working on all of them until I find that perfection. Some of us are actually perfectionists just by our environment. We weren't even really born that way. So if you have that, just witness it. That's all you have to do. Just witness when you're in that mode. Oh, there I go, being a perfectionist again. Oh, there I go, making a decision out of guilt. Did I just say I'm going to do that because I'll feel guilty? Okay, that means I'm not going to do it. And then say no. And if you need, because a lot of people with strong Virgo have Libra in their chart, if you have to, always give yourself wiggle room to change your mind. So don't give an answer immediately. I need to think about it. Let me talk to my husband. Let me look at my books. Let me look at my calendar. I'll let you know. It sounds a little snobby, but it works because it gives you time to really think of all the details. Strong Virgos like that. Get some control over your environment so that you know your environment. That's what Saturn in Capricorn likes to do. And go, you know what? If I do this, this is going to fall apart. I won't have time. I'm going to have to take a chunk away from here, which is spending Sunday afternoons with my family, going to the movies, because I'm going to have to take that time and I'm going to have to put it over here. Well, I don't want to do that. I don't want to compromise that. So I'm going to have to tell them no. As guilty as I'm going to feel, okay, I'm going to say no. Just witness yourself doing it. Just witness it. That's it. And it'll just dissolve and it'll just go away all on its own through time. And in this case, if she starts to witness it, it'll take about 1.5 years. Well, now it's less. It started last January, so she's only got about 10 months left of witnessing herself and learning and knowing thyself, because that's my huge motto, my mantra that I always share: know thyself. Namaste. Holly at AskHollyHall.com. Send me your questions. I'll give you an answer.